Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and here with me today I have a diamond in the rough for you guys today. His name is Todd Sibley. He's a running back out of Albany, formerly of Pitt. Nice to have you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you for having me.
So yeah, obviously started your journey off at University of Pittsburgh, and then of
Mhm.
course eventually got your way there to Albany, getting yourself in a nice position actually as a starting running back there, who's
Mhm.
a bruiser. Why don't you go ahead and sort of give us a little bit of background and start
Mhm.
walking us through your story.
So originally I was a small kid, from Akron, Ohio, same neighborhood, same city as LeBron. So just kind of wanted to be an athlete, wanted to, play football, wanted to be the next him. Essentially, any young kid at the time, early late '90s, early 2000s, kind of idolized LeBron and everything that he did. So I was just trying to find my path, I guess. And football was that outlet for me. Um, I decided to go to a private school though. That was like the thing that I felt like would give me the best opportunity to be successful and to potentially do something. Um, so I went to a private school, and with the help of my high school coach, Coach Tim Terrell, who I love to death, actually, um, we were able to make my college, football dreams come true. And I originally was not. A lot of people know this, but not too many people know this. So I was originally committed to Ohio State for a year and a half. So that was my original school. That was my dream school. Um, I was under Stan Drayton. He was the running back coach at the time, but he left, and then Tony Alford came and took over. But I had great relationships with those two. And Coach Urban Meyer obviously was the head coach at the time, so me and him had established a really good relationship. Um, and so that was my original plan, was to go to Ohio State. That was where my heart had set out to. But some things changed over time, and just had to adapt, really had to adjust. And with that's pretty much the story of my whole college career, just being ready to adapt, being ready to adjust at any moment's time. Um, and Coach Andre Powell and Coach Pat Narduzzi from the University of Pittsburgh had reached out after me and Ohio State decided to part ways. And from then on, I visited the campus and kind of just fell in love with what they were doing. I loved the NFL. They were the only program that had the NFL connection, where you shared facilities, you shared practice fields, you shared eating facilities, everything with the Steelers. I felt like that was a good thing for me to be able to see every day, to see what it's like being a professional, to see them practice, see how they communicated with each other, and for them to constantly be at arm's reach. I've had multiple conversations with Mike Tomlin, I've had multiple conversations with James Conner, the running back at the time. Um, and so just being able to do things like that, I feel like that was something that I had to take full advantage of. As a college player, you want to eventually get to the professional level. And what better way to do that than being able to see them on a daily basis, how they, go about their business. Um, and so it was a very easy decision to pick the University of Pittsburgh. And I was very grateful that, Coach Powell and Coach Narduzzi gave me the opportunity to play there 4 or 5 years, where I was able to learn so much. I was able to grow, develop my game in every aspect. I was able to grow and mature mentally, physically, emotionally. Obviously, had some really good teammates, some guys that are in the pros right now, some guys that are about to be pros. And so it was really good in every aspect. And I think I'm just grateful for the opportunity. I don't think that in my best at any moment's time as a young kid that I thought that I've been able to play college football. I've been able to do the things that I did, travel across the world. It was an amazing experience, and so I'm just grateful for it. And then I'm also grateful for you, Albany, as well, giving me a chance after I decided to part ways with the University of Pittsburgh, which was a mutual party. Um, Once again, I have to give a big shout out to Coach Pat Narduzzi for helping me with that process. We both decided that, hey, we think that you could be really good. Like you have a chance to go somewhere and and be a 1,000-yard rusher. Our running back room at University of Pittsburgh, we were all so good at any moment's time. Any one of us could come in and rush for 100 yards, and we kind of prided ourselves on always being ready. And that's what the University of Pittsburgh taught me: just always be ready when my number's called. And so when it was time for me to part ways, Coach Narduzzi said, he said, go somewhere. He said, and be a 1,000-yard rusher. He said, dude, show off everything that you learned here. And he said, I'll still be here in your corner. And we still maintain, contact with each other today. But when I left for UAlbany, Coach Greg Cattuso and Coach Nate Bynum, who is at Stanford right now, they really wanted me at UAlbany. They felt like I could really fit into their system, their style, and what they were trying to do up here. And obviously we didn't have, the team success that, we thought we would have, just trying to mesh off as a team. But offensively, we were one of the most efficient offenses in our conference. We averaged almost 30 points a game as an offense, and individually, I didn't do too bad either. So it was really good to finally get some of those individual goals that I had been chasing for a while. For so long, I was a really big, and I think I still am a really big team guy. I kind of learned that early throughout college, how to put your, I guess, individual goals on the back burner for the success of the team. And I think that's part of the reason why we were able to win the ACC championship in the year 2021, because we kind of put aside all our individual goals and trying to just focus on the team. And so learning how to be a team player was huge. And so to finally be able to, like, I guess, switch roles and put my individual goals first this time was really good. But at the same time, still wanting to be better for the team that I was playing on was, so it was an amazing experience. I'm so grateful for college football, so grateful to be able to play the game at an elite level, and still trying to continue to play the game is my only goal.
Gotcha. So, yeah, just kind of describing, obviously, your time there at Pitt. Obviously, you had really a crowded backfield
Yeah.
there, which it happens. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, because you guys do feed off of each other, and you learn a lot about
Mhm.
your own position group and what you need to do out there. So,
Mhm.
but of course, coming to you, Albany, now you're the guy. You're the bell cow. You're the guy who's getting all the carries.
Mhm.
You're the guy at that point who's the all conference athlete, you know, just getting a ton of carries, some touchdowns and such. So um, let's get to talking a little bit more about you as a player. I mean,
Mhm.
so let's look at the different offenses that you've been over your time. So
Mhm.
how would you describe maybe the differences between being there at Pitt versus UAlbany?
Well, I think so. The biggest thing was during my time at Pitt, we initially were in a pro style offense, and then switched over to a spread offense. I had played under three. It was either three or two offensive coordinators during my time, so I had a chance to see two different styles, um, which obviously helped me learn offensive terminology, different schemes, different looks, which was huge for obviously being able to think, talk, learn football. And then coming to UAlbany, it was a spread offense, so I was already familiar with a lot of terminologies, a lot of the protections. There was nothing that I had not seen up until that point, and that was under Coach Ambrose, who I feel like is a really good offensive coordinator. Um, but I think it was huge for me because I had, like I said, I had already seen the two certain offenses, being in the pro style, being in the spread. So just trying to find where I can fit into those style of offenses. Um, Obviously in the pro style, you're a lot more run heavy, you're a lot more I formation, where the running back is 7.5, 8 yards deep, quarterback's under center. But obviously the game is changing a lot, and spread offenses are becoming way more effective, and giving defenses a lot of trouble. So I think that me being a part of a spread offense, I think was really good. I was able to show that I could pass protect, so that I could catch out the backfield. And just being able, like I said, fit in the run game as well. You're able to do so many different things out of a spread offense as a running back. And so I think it was really useful. I think it was really effective. And like I said, being able to play under so many different coordinators, you're able to learn so many different things.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, having that opportunity to learn different offenses certainly helps you as a player. And then
Yeah.
again, as you had discussed, I mean, knowing your role, being that team player who can
Mhm.
not only be the guy who can be the bell cow, but can go out there in more of like a spread offense and pass protect and take some, take some receptions out of the
Yeah.
backfield a little bit. Be that security blanket for your running
Quarterback.
back quarterback there at times, just uh, and do that sort of thing. But also wanted to just see when you look at yourself as a prospect, as a running back, what do you feel is one of your better attributes?
Um, I think it's just my ability to, like we just kind of highlighted, is my ability to protect the quarterback, and my ability to run hard and fall forward. Um, I kind of took a lot of pride in making sure that I didn't give up any sacks on my end when it came on those big third downs where we had to we needed to throw the ball, and then we knew that the defense was sending pressure. I took a lot of pride in making sure that the quarterback didn't get sacked on my behalf, and then just being able to be relied on in the run game, make sure that I can, play my part, and use my low center of ground when running the ball, and my power to make sure that I always finish forward, that I always fall for an extra yard, and that when it came to 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, that even though everyone in the stadium knew that I was getting the ball, that I was still able to get the first down. I took a lot of pride in that. And I think those are two of the biggest things that I kind of pride myself on. Just make sure the quarterback is safe and able to do what he needs to do, and make sure that I can do what I need to do.
So Todd, as a player, answer this one for me. So you get a call, whether or not it's in the huddle or from the sideline,
Mhm.
and there's the ball that's coming. It's coming your way. It's the play that you really want to hear. What
Mhm.
is that one play for you? I mean, walk me through that.
So for me, that one play would probably be it would either be actually it would most likely be a power play. It could either be to the field or to the boundary. Um, I think the reason I really like power is because I feel like it's man on man, and it really gives a chance for offense to sort of showcase their dominance versus a defense. And you can know when a power play is coming. You can know when essentially any type of run play is coming. But do you have the ability to stop it? Do you have the ability to say that my guy is better than your guy? And I think that's what football is really about at the end of the day. It's a lot more mental than it is physical. And if you have the mental capacity to be able to, say and believe that your guys are better than the guys across from you, you can run any sort of play. But I think power really showcases, and it's kind of like old school football in a little bit too, where you just kind of line up and you don't get too fancy. There's everyone in the stadium knows what's coming. It's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, and you just kind of line the guys up and say who wants it more at the end of the day. And being able to get that first down, or just you can kind of feel the energy leave the other side, based on who wins on that play. And I think um, that's what football is about to me at the end of the day. So I love a good power play on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, where it's just you versus him, and who wants it more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Todd, I don't necessarily want to pigeonhole you into a particular box as a player, but
Mhm.
the one, I guess attribute about you that I think is really good is your power, your strength. And then, you go out there, if it's short yardage, goal line, like running those power plays, I'm sure that you can, get those, few yards that are necessary, and
Mhm.
maybe break through and get along
Yes, sir.
run in there too. So just kind of looking over my notes. I mean, looking at a guy with who knows his way around the weight room, man. You
Yes,
could
sir.
put up some weight, damn near 700-pound squat guy.
Mhm.
Pretty close to that, and
Mhm.
really display that also in your at your pro day. So um, go ahead and talk me through that pro day real quick, man. I mean, how do you think you did there overall?
So I feel like I feel like I did fairly well in my pro day. I'm one of those perfectionist guys that always kind of, wants to do better. That's never really satisfied with their overall performance, no matter how good everyone kind of says they did, or if someone feels like they did really well. I always feel like there was something I could improve on, and I think that's what makes me an elite player at the end of the day, and an elite, competitive person, just always wanting to do better, no matter how good or bad I feel like I performed. But I feel like I did fairly well at my pro day. I was fairly pleased with, some of the things I did. Obviously, like I said, wish I could have did some things well. But overall, being able to showcase my talents, my abilities in front of NFL scouts is, that was the biggest thing. And showcasing that I can play, that I do have the ability to play at the next level, was the most important thing at the end of the day. And I was pleased with it. I think my agent, he was very pleased with it, and he and I both believe that we set ourselves up to get an opportunity to play at the next level, and that's the biggest thing at the end of the day. Um, I was there with a really good, teammate, Thomas Greeny. He's a really good guy. Hopefully he gets a shot as well. Really good ball player. I was able to have my quarterback, Reese Poffenberger, help us out with Pro Day too. So shout out to him. He's a really, really good guy. But overall, I think Pro Day went well. 21 reps on bench, 4.5 40. Um, and I think that was, it was overall a good day.
Good. Well, I mean, it actually wasn't the first time that did showcase yourself in front of scouts. I mean, you've been
Mhm.
doing that your whole, career. I mean, there at Pitt and then also at U Albany. And then after your time there, you actually ended up going to the Tropical Bowl down in Florida.
Yes,
How
sir.
did that work for you overall, man? I mean, can you give me some highlights of that week?
Oh man, so that was a really good week. Didn't really know what to expect going down there. And so everything was kind of, it was a first time for everything type of deal. But it was a very unique experience. And I'm very grateful for that experience. Being able to once again play football again was the biggest thing. Being able to put back on the helmet was a beautiful thing. But being able to, practice for a couple of days, and really get in front of I think every NFL team was down there. I think there were some XFL, CFL, scouts. They were surrounded the place. And so getting a chance to, be back in front of, an environment like that was really, really useful. Was really, really great. I got a chance to sit down with some scouts, and really learn about the interview process, and really talk about myself, talk about my game, and just learn about, things I didn't know about the next level. Being able to, showcase, my football knowledge. I had the opportunity to, draw up some plays, and really talk football, which is what I love to do. So that was a really good experience, and then just being able to compete too. Um, there were some really good guys down there, from all over. There were some small school guys, some big school guys, and we kind of came from all over the place. And I think that's the good thing about football is you get a whole bunch of guys from all over, and able to bring them together for one common goal. Um, and so that was obviously one of the highlights for me is, looking around, and we had guys from the West Coast, East Coast, all here, all down in Florida playing football together. So it was a really good event. Grateful for it, and I would definitely do it again. It was really fun.
Cool. So give me a ballpark, man. How many teams have you talked to so far?
Um, it would be around 5 or 6 teams that I've had significant conversations with.
All right, good, man. Well, I mean, you're obviously in position to maybe get that opportunity here very soon. So,
Yes.
um, uh, for people that haven't yet to see you play, give me maybe one of your best games. Can you walk me through one of your best games that you've had in your career so that maybe people can go back and watch it?
I think one of my best games, from both schools. So I can give you a game from both schools. So my best game when I was at the University of Pittsburgh was a game against Delaware back in the 19 season where I rushed for my first. It was my first career start in my first 100-yard game. I just kind of took over the game with the offense kind of relied on us. We had a lot of injuries going into that game. And so the offense kind of relied on me. And I was able to, help us get the win. And it was my first start. It was my first 100-yard game. Um, and then when I was at Albany this past season versus Fordham, even though we didn't win, it was a very high scoring game. I ran for over close to 200 yards and scored 4 touchdowns, all in the first half.
Sweet,
And
man. Definitely a game to go back and watch for sure.
I had it was either it was almost a it was either a 50 or 60-yard reception to end the half. So the clock had hit 0 and I still had the ball in my hands and I scored a touchdown and it was like a 60-yard reception. Everyone on the sideline was telling me to go down. But I just kept going.
Well, I mean, you had to, get the 6, man. I mean, you get the ball in your hands. It's hard not to. So, Todd, it's been great, hearing about you and your, draft journey. So, do want to wrap up our time. So, and as we do that, just kind of want to give you the floor to talk to those scouts out there, man. Tell them why you'd make a great addition to their team. And go ahead and close us with that.
I just want to say that football is something that is very important to me. It has got me through a lot of tough times, and I think it's the game. It's the world's best teacher, and that's why I value it so much. I think you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about who you are and your ability to handle challenges, adversities, and showcase how disciplined you are too when you're able to play this game. And I think one of the things that makes me the most valuable is my ability to overcome adversity and my ability to be the ultimate teammate. When you're playing on a really good team surrounded by good guys, you have to find your role. And I think that is what I was able to do throughout my college career is find my role, find where I can fit in the best at, wherever the team lacks, and then insert myself into that role so that we can be a better team. And sometimes you're not always going to be the star of the show. You're not going to get the ball 20 times a game, 25 times a game, whatever it is, catch the game-winning touchdown or, be the guy that's on the front page of the paper at the end of the day. But at the end of the day that you did everything that you could to make sure that your team was in a good position. And that's kind of the thing that I've embraced throughout my football career is that, it's okay to not be on the front page every week. That's fine. But at the end of the day, when you go back into the team meeting room on Sundays at the end of the game or on Mondays at the end of the game, and you see where you're able to highlight as a team, look at the production chart, look who did this well, look who did these things well, even though they don't get talked about a lot. But without this performance, without this block on whatever play it was, or without this performance on whatever play it was, we wouldn't be in position that we are right now. And so I think that essentially holds more weight at the end of the day as a team. And so I think that's kind of where, I find myself being the most effective is just being able to insert myself and find wherever the team needs help and just kind of do that. And then obviously just being a good running back as well. Being an experienced guy that knows the game and being able to play at a high level, I think is what everyone's looking for. So
Yeah, I mean, definitely feel like obviously very experienced guy. I mean, and you've learned a lot along the way. I mean, having several different coordinators. I mean, learning how to be a great teammate. Learning how to be a leader. I have in my notes that you were also on leadership council. So that's another good thing to be able to put on your resume is that you can be that leader. But yeah, I mean, we highlighted a lot of great things about you that you can add to any franchise. So, Todd, just kind of want to wish you all the best, in your endeavors right now as you pursue your dreams, man. Thanks for the interview.
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Todd Sibley, running back out of Albany, formerly out of Pittsburgh. Take a look at this guy. He's got some good tape.